couple of my friends in the past have been cyberbullied for say, pictures that they might have posted that maybe were a bit unflattering or someone else took of them at school, or just word of mouth, but over social media, like Snapchat and Instagram direct messages of things that happen in real life, and just rumors spread like wildfire over it.
Cyberbullying lasts not just within the school playground, but throughout the house, throughout the community, and it could constantly follow them around.
If we know our child's normal way of being, their baseline behavior, one of the greatest ways we can begin to recognize when they may be cyberbullied is when we see shifts in that baseline, when they're acting in ways that we don't typically expect. That's the number one thing that we're looking for all across a student behavior, how they interact with people, whether or not they maintain and have eye contact. Are they being secretive? Are they pulling away from people that they otherwise wouldn't?
An increased sense of despair, depression, anxiousness, disconnected from the family and regular activities, a preoccupation with social media, a shielding or almost deceptive usage of the internet, using the internet all hours of the day. I would look for a marked decrease in joy of social activities that maybe the young person was interested in, whether that be sports or arts, friends, the friend network, and a pullback from traditional friendships out in the community, and as I said, a preoccupation with what's happening online.
That awkward conversation that should be had before we give them that device. Share with them why it's important that they respect themselves, do not take photos of themselves, and do not share those photos with other individuals. We're dealing with kids as young as 9 and 10 engaging in sharing of intimate images. Put it into other conversations about healthy relationships. Talk about the context of oversharing, but you need to build in that conversation about sexting and what's called sextortion, where maybe they have sent those photos and where those photos have now been used against them, what we may call extortion or blackmail. When it comes to the extortion or blackmail or sextortion, be mindful that it's very important that you do get police involved because it is a criminal code offense.
Well, I'd like to think that a parent, if they see that, whether they can associate that to something that's happening online or whether there's another aspect of their child's life that is not where it needs to be, that they're communicating with their child. Communicate. Be open with your children. Let them know that they're not alone. Reach out to peers, whether that be the Parent Advisory Council or PAC Council at the school administration, the myriad of online resources as well. If you're wondering if something is of criminal nature, that's what we get paid to do. We get paid to investigate. More often than not, our investigations don't lead to criminal charges, but an investigation to sort out what's true and what's not true is what we do. So don't suffer alone. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed, because if it's happening to you, it's certainly happening to somebody else. And the more we talk about this, then the more it's pulled out of the shadows, and the more attention it gets. The more attention it gets, then the more support, and the less likely someone is to feel embarrassed about reaching out and asking for some help.
Even if they know a friend that is potentially going through this, they need to stand up and be that good friend for those around them, and remind them that they're not telling on somebody to get them into trouble, it's to help get them out of trouble.
Yeah, so I've actually known quite a few people who have been cyberbullied, unfortunately. And The best help that happened was the people actually in the schools who would stand up to it. And the standing up wasn't online, it was in person, and it was actually on the ground, on the floor, and people would make jokes about these cyberbullying points that they may have seen on social media, and in the halls someone might mention that, and they put a stop to it very, very quickly. Mentioning, hey, that's not cool. We didn't want to see that. And you're kind of shaming the people who've been doing the cyberbullying, and it worked perfectly in every time that I'd seen that happen.